Members, a quorum is present. Could we ask that the members and our guests beyond the rail and in the gallery please rise? We will be led in prayer this afternoon by our guest chaplain, Bishop Jaime Soto, after which, please remain standing. We will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag by Senator Ahlquist. Bishop.
Let us pray. Come, Holy Spirit, replace the tension within us with a holy relaxation. Replace the turbulence within us with a sacred calm. Replace the anxiety within us with a quiet confidence. Replace the fear within us with a strong faith. Replace the bitterness within us with the sweetness of grace. Replace the coldness within us with a loving warmth. Replace the night within us with your day. Replace the winter within us with your spring. Straighten our crookedness. Fill our emptiness. Dull the edge of our pride. And sharpen the edge of our humility. Light the fires of our love. Quench the flames of our lust. Let us see ourselves as you see us, that we may see you as you have promised, and be fortunate according to your word. Blessed are the pure of heart, for they shall see God. We ask all this in your holy name. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hope it helps.
Privileges of the floor. Senator Cox, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
Mr. President, for purpose of adjourning in memory.
Proceed.
Thank you, sir. Mr. President, members, I rise today in memory of Father Edward Callanan of Sacramento. Those of you from Los Angeles would recognize the name of Callanan White mortuaries in Southern California. He was the son of the founder of the White Callanan mortuary. Father Callanan passed away on June the 10th in Los Angeles. He passed away in Los Gatos. He grew up in Los Angeles, played football at the University of Southern California, and then decided to become a priest, and he was ordained in 1958. Father Callanan was the principal and director of development at Jesuit High School here in Sacramento from 1967 to 1984, and remained involved with the school up until his passing. Father Callanan was, to say the very least, a hardworking and dedicated priest who impressed upon many generations of young men the importance of hard work and compassion. He will be missed by his family and those who knew Father Callanan in the community. So I ask, Mr. President, we adjourn in memory of Father Edward Callanan.
Thank you, Senator Cox, and if you would bring the name forward to the desk, please, and please convey our sympathies to friends and family. Members, could you join me in welcoming a former member of the State Senate who is here with us in the chambers today? That would be former State Senator Gary Hart at the rear of the chambers. Welcome, Senator Hart. Without objection, Senator Steinberg wishes to have a photographer on the floor. No objection, then by unanimous consent it is so ordered. Other privileges of the floor? Senator Negrete McLeod, for what purpose do you rise?
I rise and ask that I move that Senate Rule 43 be waived for Senate Bill 700, file item 18, for the purposes of reconsideration.
Thank you, Senator Negrete McLeod. It has been approved by the Rules Committee and is so ordered.
Then I request that Senate Bill 700, file item 18, be moved to the inactive file.
All right, I'm advised that we do need a roll call, so we will do a roll call on the item. Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested. Aye. Ahlquist. Aye. Ashburn. Benoit. Calderon. Aye. Cedillo. Aye. Cogdill. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Cox. Aye. Denham. DeSaulnier. Aye. DeChaney. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Flores. Aye. Hancock. Harmon. Aye. Hollingsworth. Huff. Aye. Kehoe. Aye. Leno. Aye. Liu. Lowenthal. Aye. Maldonado. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Oropesa. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Price. Aye. Romero. Runner. Smidian. Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Walters. Aye. Wiggins. Aye. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Wyland. Aye. Yee. Denham. Aye. Correa. Aye. Benoit. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Mr. President. Correa. Aye. I have you. Ashburn. No. Mr. President. Ayes 30, noes 1.
Ayes 30, noes 1. The rules are suspended. And then Senator McLeod, the second portion, would you repeat that, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask that Senate Bill 700, Item 18, be moved to the inactive.
So ordered. Thank you. Other items under motions and resolutions, Senator Steinberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. For purposes of introduction, if I may.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Mr. President and members, last year, our former Senate colleague, Gary Hart, who you introduced a moment ago, joined with Dave Gordon, the Sacramento County Superintendent of Schools, to create an in-depth Capitol tour experience for close to 300 Sacramento County high school students. The 6-hour tours involve teaching the history and architecture of the Capitol, as well as opportunities to understand how this place works. And I'm looking forward to them telling us how this place works. It's a joke. They got the opportunity to understand the legislative and judicial process. They observed floor and committee sessions. They met with legislators, legislative staff, and appellate court justices from the 3rd District Court of Appeal. They all wrote essays about their Capitol tour experience, and today I want to recognize the top 5 essay winners who will be receiving $500 scholarships for their essay achievements. In the back of the chambers, please give a warm welcome from Galt High School, Amanda Cantos, an incoming senior, and Diana Gonzalez, who will be a freshman at CSU Sacramento this year, together with Jennifer Peterson, their avid teacher. From Sheldon High School, Kelsey Haggard, an incoming college freshman at Evangel University in Springfield, Missouri, and Jennifer Lawson, who is her avid teacher. Way to go. And Gabriela Izagiri, an incoming sophomore. And Loren Gomez, an incoming junior. Welcome to you and congratulations. I also want to recognize at the back of the chamber Senator Hart and Tim Herrera, the Sacramento County Office of Education Communications Director, as well as representatives from 2 organizations who provided the scholarship money for these very worthy students. Scott Hill from the School Insurance Authority. Scott, thank you. And Ron Bennett, President of the School Services of California. Thank you as well. That's right. I noticed all young women, which is great. And let me just say that we expect at least some of you to be working in the halls of this Capitol soon on this floor. Yeah, this week. No, sooner rather than later. Congratulations to all of you. And as I said to you earlier, sometimes young people, I think too often young people get a bad rap. And here are some great examples of what the youth of today are really about. Hard working, giving back to others, and doing everything that you can to create a better future for yourselves and for California. Congratulations.
Thank you, Senator Steinberg. And along those same lines, members, if I could ask you to join me in welcoming a half-dozen student interns who will be working in my district office this year, but who made the trip up to Sacramento today to see how the Capitol worked. They are at the rear of the chambers, and I want to thank them for their willingness to help us with our good work during the course of the summer. Are there additional items under motions and resolutions, members? Under motions and resolutions, Senator Wolk, for what purpose do you rise, Senator?
I have an announcement, Mr. Speaker.
Please proceed.
I would like to invite everyone to a reception in my office from 4 to 6 on Wednesday afternoon. We have a wonderful artist who has loaned us terrific paintings of the California Delta. His name is Deladier Almeida. He'll be there. We will have Delta wine and some salmon if we can find any still alive. And I really invite all of you to come between 4 and 6 on Wednesday afternoon.
Thank you very much, Senator Wolk. Members, if there are no additional items under motions and resolutions, we will move to the consideration of the daily file. Second reading file. These are assembly bills on second reading, items 1 through 6. The Secretary will read.
Assembly Bill 1179, Assembly Bill 401, Assembly Bill 409, Assembly Bill 991, Assembly Bill 1566, and Assembly Bill 124 with amendments.
Deemed read. Governor's appointments, items 7 through 11. Senator Steinberg, pass for the moment. Unfinished business, file items 12 and 13. File item 12 is special consent calendar. File item 13, Senator Padilla, do you wish to take this item up? Secretary will read.
Senate Bill 424 by Senator Padilla, an act relating to vehicles and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, you may recall SB 424 seeks to bring California auto dealer franchise contracts in line with what are considered national industry standards, and in doing so can also provide car dealers with the flexibility they need to remain open during this very difficult period. And indeed, it's a district issue for everybody. Amendments taken in the Assembly on this bill have strengthened the bill by providing car dealers additional protections and clarifying the intent of the bill, specifically by allowing former car dealers who, as we read, are being cut off by the manufacturers allow them to continue to sell their remaining new inventory as new vehicles for a limited 6-month period. Second, the amendments taken in the Assembly specify that nothing in this bill will limit or take away in any way the rights and recourses available to consumers who may be wronged in any sort of dealer transaction. There's been no opposition to this measure in the legislative process thus far. I'd ask for your vote on concurrence on this urgency item.
Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested. Alquist. Aye. Ashburn. Benoit. Aye. Calderon. Aye. Cedillo. Aye. Cogdill. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Aye. Cox. Aye. Denham. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. DeChaney. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Flores. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. Aye. Hollingsworth. Aye. Huff. Aye. Kehoe. Aye. Leno. Aye. Liu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Maldonado. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Oropesa. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Aye. Romero. Aye. Runner. Aye. Semidian. Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Aye. Walters. Aye. Wiggins. I. Wolk, I. Wright, I. Wyland, I. Yee. Mr. President, ayes 30. Ashburn, aye. Mr. President, ayes 37. No, zero.
Call the absent members.
Onnested, aye. Oropesa, Yee. Mr. President, ayes 38, no, 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0. The amendments are concurred with. File item 14 under Senate third reading, Senator Wiggins. Secretary will read.
Senate Joint Resolution 5 by Senator Wiggins and relative to the Gulf of the Farallones and Cordell Bank National Marine Sanctuaries Boundary Modification and Protection Act.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. SJR 5 is a resolution to express California's support for H.R. 223 by Congresswoman Lynn Woolsey and SB 212 by Senator Barbara Boxer. These measures would expand the boundaries north and westward of the Gulf of Farallones and Cordell Bank National Marine Sanctuaries to provide ecosystem management and permanently protect them from oil spills and pollution. Since the congressional and executive moratoriums on offshore oil exploration were removed in 2008, these waters are of special interest, special biological significance, and have remained unprotected. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested, no. Alquist, aye. Ashburn, no. Benoit, no. Calderon, aye. Cedillo, aye. Cogdill, no. Corbett, aye. Correa, Cox, no. Denham, no. DeSaulnier, aye. Ducheney, Dutton, no. Flores, aye. Hancock, aye. Harmon, Hollingsworth, no. Huff, no. Kehoe, aye. Leno, aye. Liu, aye. Lowenthal, aye. Maldonado, Negrete McLeod, aye. Oropesa, Padilla, aye. Pavley, aye. Price, aye. Romero, aye. Runner, no. Smidian,
Aye.
Aye. Steinberg, aye. Strickland, Walters, no. Wiggins, aye. Wolk, aye. Wright, aye. Wyland, no. Yee, Yee, aye. Maldonado, aye. Mr. President, ayes 23, noes 12.
Ayes 23, noes 12. The resolution is adopted. File item 15, amendments are pending. File item 16, pass. File item 17, Senator Kehoe, not at her desk. File item 18, Senator Gloria Negrete McLeod has already addressed. File item 19, Senator Liu, pass. Members, that brings us to Assembly third reading. File item 20, Mendoza. File item 21, Solorio. Senator DeSaulnier, for what purpose do you rise?
Mr. President, I'd like to bring up a resolution recognizing the importance of the high-tech industry.
And this is item 21, Senator DeSaulnier. Secretary will read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 52 by Assemblymember Solorio, an act relating to high technology.
Mr. President, you and Senator Alquist obviously understand the importance of the high-tech industry in California. This resolution merely supports that and declares that the second week of May as High Technology Week in California. 25% of total economic output in the Bay Area, up from 16% just 11 years ago, is due to the high-tech industry. I think it's appropriate that we show the respect and support for the high-tech industry. I ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested. Aye. Alquist. Aye. Ashburn. Aye. Benoit. Aye. Calderon. Aye. Cedillo. Aye. Cogdill. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Aye. Cox. Aye. Denham. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. DeChaney. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Flores. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. Aye. Hollingsworth. Huff. Aye. Kehoe. Aye. Leno. Aye. Liu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Maldonado. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Oropesa. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Aye. Romero. Aye. Runner. Aye. Semidian.
Aye.
Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Aye. Walters. Aye. Wiggins. Aye. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Wyland. Aye. Yee. Yee, aye. Mr. President, ayes 38, no 0.
Ayes 38, noes 0. The resolution is adopted. File item 22, file item 23, file item 24. Senator Corbett, file item 24. Secretary will read.
Assembly Bill 63 by Assemblymember Mendoza, an act relating to service contracts.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. AB 63 would require retailers who sell service contracts on their products to maintain access to sufficient contract information or obtain a copy of that contract within 10 business days upon being requested by the purchaser. Currently, many retailers place the responsibility on the consumer to retain documentation of a service contract. As a result, consumers are often left with a product that does not work and with no way to claim the service contract that they rightfully purchased. This bill is identical to AB 1866 from last year, which passed both houses of the legislature. Unfortunately, it was vetoed with a generic budget delay veto message. But this bill has no opposition and will protect consumers and build trust between retailers and the general public. I ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested. Aye. Alquist. Aye. Ashburn. Benoit. Calderon. Aye. Cedillo. Aye. Cogdill. No. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Aye. Cox. No. Denham. No. DeSaulnier. Aye. DeChaney. Aye. Dutton. Flores. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. No. Hollingsworth. No. Huff. No. Kehoe. Aye. Leno. Aye. Liu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Maldonado. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Oropesa. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Aye. Romero. Aye. Runner. No. Semidian.
Aye.
Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Aye. Walters. No. Wiggins. Aye. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Wyland. Yee. Yee, aye. Ashburn, no. Wyland, no. Benoit, aye. Dutton, no. Mr. President, ayes 28, noes 11.
Ayes 28, noes 11. The measure is passed. File item 25, Arambula. File item 26, Monning. Senator Corbett. Secretary will read.
Assembly Bill 1090 by Assemblymember Monning, an act relating to arbitration.
Thank you very much, members. This bill received bipartisan support in the Senate Judiciary Committee and passed off the Assembly floor on a 71-0 vote. AB 1090 protects consumers and businesses who use arbitration and ensures that California's ethical arbitration standards are non-negotiable. This bill codifies a 2004 appellate decision which held that arbitrators could not waive their statutory disclosure requirements. AB 1090 will clarify the intent of the legislature and settles any doubt on the matter by declaring expressly that arbitrator ethics rules are not subject to negotiation or a waiver. I ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested? No. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Benoit? No. Calderon? Aye. Cedillo? Cogdill? No. Corbett? Aye. Correa? Aye. Cox? No. Denham? No. DeSaulnier? Aye. Duchesne? Aye. Dutton? Flores? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Harmon? Aye. Hollingsworth? No. Huff? Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Maldonado? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Price? Aye. Romero? Aye. Runner? No. Semidian? Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? Walters? No. Strickland, aye. Wiggins? Aye. Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Wyland? Aye. Yee? Yee, aye. Denham, aye. Dutton, no. Mr. President? Cedillo, aye. Mr. President, ayes 29, noes 8.
Call the absent members.
Ashburn? Huff? Oropesa? Oropesa, aye. Ashburn, no. Okay. Mr. President, ayes 30, noes 9.
Ayes 30, noes 9. The bill is passed. File item 27, Lowenthal. File item 28, Fletcher. File item 29, Assemblymember Davis. Members, file items 30 through 59 are budget placeholders. That takes us to file item 60 by Assemblymember Brownlee. Senator Correa. Secretary will read.
Assembly Bill 399 by Assemblymember Brownlee, an act relating to public employee benefits and declaring the urgency thereof to take effect immediately.
Mr. President, Senators, this bill makes changes to the Public Employees Retirement Law that allow the CalPERS Boards of Administration to distribute in an active members' contributions if they turn age over 70 to protect the member from tax penalties and to ensure that CalPERS will be in compliance with the IRS code requirements. It also allows CalPERS to transfer excess reserves between self-funded health benefit plans. I ask for an aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, call the roll.
Onnested? Aye. Alquist? Aye. Ashburn? Benoit? Calderon? Aye. Cedillo? Aye. Cogdill? Corbett? Aye. Correa? Aye. Cox? Aye. Denham? Aye. DeSaulnier? Aye. Duchesne? Dutton? Aye. Flores? Aye. Hancock? Harmon? Aye. Hollingsworth? Aye. Huff? Aye. Kehoe? Aye. Leno? Aye. Liu? Aye. Lowenthal? Aye. Maldonado? Aye. Negrete McLeod? Aye. Oropesa? Aye. Padilla? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Price? Aye. Romero? Aye. Runner? Aye. Semidian? Aye. Steinberg? Aye. Strickland? Aye. Walters? Aye. Wiggins? Aye. Wolk? Aye. Wright? Aye. Wyland? Aye. Yee? Yee, aye. Ashburn, aye. Hancock, aye. Ducheney, aye. Cogdill, aye. Benoit, aye. Mr. President, ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The bill is passed. Senator Hancock, for what purpose do you rise?
Under motions and resolutions, 3 items to remove from the consent calendar: AB 1134, file item 87, AB 1396, file item 89, to inactive at the request of the author, and AB 1572, file item 90, to inactive at the request of the author.
Without objection. Thank you, Senator Hancock. Members, file item 61, AB 73 by Assemblymember Hayashi. File item 62, AB 793 by Assemblymember Jones. File item 63, AB 1185, Assemblymember Liu. File item 64, AB 250 by Assemblymember Miller. File items 65, 66, and 67 are for proposed special consent. File item 68 by Assemblymember Amiano. Senator Yee, do you wish to take this item up? Not at his desk. File item 69, Senator Mendoza. Excuse me, Assemblymember Mendoza. File item 70, AB 906 by Assemblymember Hill. File item 71, AB number 1 by Assemblymember Monning. File item 72, AB 66, Assemblymember Anderson. File item 73 is a special consent item. File item 74, AB 774 by Assemblymember Cook. File item 75, AB 796, Carter. File item 76, AB 1459, Davis. File item 77. We are now on consent. Members, AB 1475 will be removed from the special consent calendar and placed on the inactive file at the request of the author. Members, that completes the Assembly third reading and brings us to our consent calendar as amended with items withdrawn. On the consent calendar, Secretary will read.
Assembly Bill 1459, 1549, AB 1134, AB...
Consent calendar is...
1149.
Consent calendar is deemed read. Without objection, members, substitute the unanimous roll call. Ayes 40, noes 0 on the consent calendar. Special consent. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 158, Assembly Bill 258, Assembly Bill 170, Assembly Bill 285, Assembly Bill 940, Assembly Bill 62.
Special consent calendar is deemed read. Without objection, substitute the unanimous roll call. Ayes 40, noes 0. Special consent calendar is approved. Senator Wiggins, for what purpose do you rise, ma'am?
I rise to do a Phyllis Elman biography.
Proceed.
Okay. Well, she was an environmental activist. She actually lived from 1923 to 2009, and she was a noted botanist, and she passed away on June 2nd at home in Glen Ellen. She got her biology at Kansas State University, and she earned a master's degree in biochemistry. And then where she met her husband, George, Phyllis taught at Caltech in Pasadena while George completed his PhD. And Phyllis' passions was wildflowers, and she became known as Mother Botany. And on the Phyllis Elman Trail, an honor given by the Land Trust, the Elmans moved to Sonoma County in 1980, and she was a driving force behind the docent program and was a creator of the singing group Kira's Query that teaches children about environmental issues. Phyllis is survived by her husband of 60 years, George. And a celebration of Phyllis' life and great accomplishments has been scheduled for June 27th at the Bouverie Preserve. And I just really miss her.
Thank you, Senator Wiggins. Please be sure the name is brought forward to the desk, and please share our sympathies with friends and family. Senator Correa, for what purpose do you
For
rise?
purposes of announcement.
Proceed.
Senate
One
Purse
moment,
Committee hearing in room 20.
Proceed, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Purse Committee hearing room 2040 at 1:30. Please be there on time, members.
Thank you, Senator Correa. Senator Corbett, for what purpose?
For purpose of introduction.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to recognize the Pleasanton-Tulancingo Sister City Association. Tulancingo is the state of Hidalgo, Mexico, and every year the group brings students from Pleasanton, who is the sister city of Tulancingo, to visit our state capital. They're here with us today, and they're staying with host families while they're here learning about our culture. So let's give them a warm welcome.
Thank you, Senator Corbett. Members, do we have any other items under motions and resolutions or announcements? Senator Liu.
Adjourn in memory.
Please.
Mr. President, I want to...
Senator Liu, one moment, please.
Thank you. I just want my colleagues to know that Senator Herschel Rosenthal passed away this last weekend, and through lots of reiterations of districts, I represent part of what he used to represent today. And he had 24 years of service to his constituents and this body, and he leaves a legacy of humanitarian. He was a humanitarian, a man of honor, and a family man. And I just express my condolences to his family and friends and hope they are comforted to know his work on behalf of the people of California will live on.
Thank you, Senator Liu. Please be sure the name is brought forward to the desk. Please share our sympathies with friends and family and our thanks for the public service. Senator Negrete McLeod, for what purpose?
Purposes of announcement, just remind everyone that business and professions will meet at 1 o'clock in 3191.
Thank you, Senator Negrete McLeod. Senator Romero.
For purpose of memory, adjournment in memory.
Proceed.
Members, just I wanted to bring to your name a strong woman educator, Dr. Marian Elizabeth Wagstaff. She was a giant among women in education. She passed away recently in Boulder Creek, California. What you don't know about her was that she was the very first woman to ever hold the position of school principal in the state of California, and that was back in 1942. She was also the first woman to integrate the school systems in California by hiring ethnic minorities into her teaching staff. And that occurred in 1950, 4 years before Brown versus Board of Education. She is a well-recognized name amongst women educators, and I wanted to ask this Senate, which has advocated so strongly for educational opportunities for us all, to adjourn in her memory. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Romero. If you would bring the name forward to the desk and please convey our sympathies to friends and family. Do we have other members? Senator Leno. For what purpose, sir?
For purpose of announcement, please.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have an invitation from Senator Kehoe and myself to all members of this body and staff and friends to join us in the rotunda, second floor, at 5 o'clock tonight. We'll be celebrating the 8th annual LGBT Pride Month, and we welcome you to join us. A little bit of history in the 4 window displays, and then a reception in the Pro Tem's office following. So we hope we'll see you all there.
Thank you, Senator Leno. Members, are there any other items under Motions and resolutions. Any other announcements? If not, if there's no other business, Senator Steinberg, the desk is clear. Members?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I ask the members if could all just pay attention to this one, because the schedule is going to be a little bit different this week given the pendency of our budget concerns. Tomorrow will be a check-in day and a full committee day. Be a Democratic caucus at noon tomorrow instead of Wednesday. And then we will have floor session, special floor session, 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock Wednesday morning, to take up matters related to the budget revision. The thinking at this point, although still subject to some further consideration, is to move Wednesday's committee hearings to Thursday. But I want to talk to the speaker first and see if we can coordinate all of that. Just because if we're on the floor on Wednesday, I think it'll be difficult to go back and forth, during that period of time. So we'll get back to you on the plans for Thursday, but plan on Wednesday at 9 a.m. on the floor here. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Steinberg. The Senate will be in recess until 3:30, at which time the adjournment motion will be made. We will reconvene Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. There is a Democratic caucus tomorrow at noon, replacing the Wednesday caucus. Without objection, the Senate is in recess.